want the challenges to be walked through in a sequence, or do you want to like pick one and just go which one you think?
Yeah, so we only have 2 hours, so we can't go through all of them in depth.
Actually, I think we can.
I need to leave
In
at
depth.
3, so if any of you want to go over my challenges.
Can we not go through Evan's challenges?
Yeah.
I second that.
Yeah, do yours.
Just R-RF. No preservers. Thank you. No preserver. Otherwise, it
So it's
preserves.
recording online now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I've already pulled that rule.
Do you? Oh, do you? Okay, where is it?
You need to pull again. Sorry. Alright. Wait, is that right?
That was good.
Daddy.
Dude, I don't know why, but the term zaddy is called off. Zaddy. Okay, zaddy, yeah. I don't like it. See,
It doesn't matter if you like it. We like it.
okay, I'm so too
Oh, like this.
Fuck you.
Thank you.
You realize the camera's on.
Actually, after this, like, if I fucking die, we'd be upset.
And she's like, well, as long as it's
No,
safe.
she's like, yeah, probably. I'm like, that kind of hurts me. It's like, I won't be able to fuck girls if I want.
I know, and it's not cheating if it's gay.
It's true. It's not gay if you. It's not gay if it's cheating. It's
Yeah,
not
but-
gay if you don't look at each other in the eye.
It's not gay if you say no homo.
That's not gay. That's not gay.
It's not gay if you asked him before.
That one, yeah.
It's
What, it's not gay if it's consensual? What?
Yeah.
Just for the record.
If you don't make eye contact, it goes from a blowjob to a blowjob.
Yeah.
Just for the record, we are recording this.
Oh, cool.
Body citizen.
Can we cut that and strike that from the record?
Nope. Live.
Mark's
Wait,
unemployed.
live where?
Everywhere.
Twitter.
Oh, fuck.
New York Times Square.
It's okay. We're in the presence of the game. Which one?
Marky Lee.
What is this? Why are they recording?
I can like that not.
Hey, I am a war-body citizen.
Okay, so does anyone want me to go through breadcrumbs?
Yes.
Oh, no! That hurts me. That hurts me.
Yes.
Can we ask the only 2 people who
Have you done? Who hasn't done breadcrumbs? Okay, well, let's do breadcrumbs. So in breadcrumbs, man, where are the files?
I asked you to put them in.
They were there. So in breadcrumbs there is a thing that generates stuff.
Sorry,
I can run it now.
Very funny.
No, we don't see the
I like how you hear this trusted you.
So the idea of breadcrumbs is that you're given a file to start with, and that's in a folder called breadcrumbs. So and that gives you a number, right? And then if you follow that number and then you go to file 485, you then get another number. And the idea is that you keep following the numbers, but eventually when you get to the end, you'll get to the troll face, which is just a picture of the troll face. And that's just a red herring, sorry. The idea of the challenge was that as you're following the numbers, you should realize that you're going through every single number within that range. So essentially all you have to do is just either brute force the search space until you find the missing one, or follow the chain and then record which one was missing. And when you find the one that's missing, that's the one that has the flag. Sorry, Mark. That makes sense?
How many?
Trying to pack it in the trolley.
How deep is it? This one was 1,000. It originally was 1 million.
So you have to write this quiz.
Yeah, you have to write a script.
Wait, Evan.
Yeah.
So how exactly can we just go as in finding no numbers? Do we have to actually just manually do that?
So my script generates and auto solves it. So here, all I'm doing is I have a scene set, and I go to the first one, and I just keep decoding them and adding them to the set, and at the end I do some set maths and find the one that's missing by generating what I think is the biggest one. Does that make sense?
How long does it take 1 million?
It's meant to be really quick, but when you're doing it through the website, which is what we had to fall back on, it was much slower, and I didn't realize it'd be that slow, so we reduced it. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, yes, you have to write a script for this one.
Yeah.
Unless someone else did it a different way, which was they used a fuzzing program.
Oh, the big fuzz.
Yeah.
I think that's Michael.
Yeah, Michael used something like that, and it just like they just told it look for all files of the numbers, and then it just popped up. It's like we found it. But yeah, the idea wasn't to. Yes, you did have to brute force it because the idea was you had to figure out that there was one missing. Yes. Cool. Awesome. And the other one was the pizzas.
Yeah, pizzas. Excited for forensics of this.
Sorry.
They're not. But I
try
can
the other
just
way.
generate them.
Okay.
Could you increase the font size just to try and
Hey,
You know what? Why is it like this?
Evan.
Sorry.
increase font size. Control plus works as well.
That's better.
I love this.
That's not thin. You just have to read what the file has again, just so I don't forget. Okay, I think I can just one. There you go. So in bits and pieces, you're given a folder full of these files. You're given a shop. And in the shop, there's lots of different ingredients. And every ingredient has some bytes in it. So, no, it doesn't do that. Let's just do one. Bacon. So that one has one byte over there. I don't know which ones are the biggest. Let's see. Are they all 20 bytes?
I think they're all 20.
That's strange.
Yeah.
This one has some more. I'm just going to write it. I think so too. There you go. So yeah, you're given a bunch of files, and all the files have some random characters in it. So in particular, this one has a lot more than the others. And you'll notice that these are all ingredients to a pizza. The challenge is called bits and pizzas. So, and this is just a bunch of random information that seems scattered all over the place. And you notice that also none of the files are identical as well. So the idea behind this challenge is that you want to make a pizza with these ingredients. And you essentially just want to bitwise and all the files together. And when you do that, you get a pizza. So I'm not going to write code for this on the fly, but there is a function here, join files, and all that does is it gets, man, I can't spell, it gets all the files, reads it into an array, and then just adds them together with add, right? And then it does that for each one, and then that's it. You just print it out at the end. Yeah.
So it's bitwise add.
You can also do it with Soul, I think.
Yeah, you can do it so.
Because it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Maybe you can also do it with all. I don't know.
That varies divided.
Which one? Is it? Is it a plus?
1
Sorry.
That's the next one.
Yeah.
It's the same as that.
This is plus.
Like per byte, it's the same thing.
No.
This will take far too long to do this.
It doesn't make a difference if I put it as a yeah, you have to write code for this. A lot of people want this, so it's good.
You should see that headline.
But yeah, yummy pizza shop. It was great. Yummy pizza shop. I think I had another one. Did I have one?
The other one's one of these things.
Oh yeah, that one was a bonus. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone still have any other questions for this one?
What do you guys want to see next? There's not many of you, so just like, we can do a vote and what do you want to go for?
Yeah.
What ones didn't you get? So I just want to know how.
Put up the list of challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any ones you want to see?
It's
Yeah, can you do the forensic ones? Not the math ones, the
ugly rainbow.
what would I thought?
That one was the image file with all the hex values.
That was cool.
Yeah, I like to see that.
I can't see those.
That's your one.
Which one?
That's your one.
Hex colors?
There's only two.
Yes, an ugly rainbow.
Recon?
Yeah, and then the Digestive Biscuit.
Ugly rainbow. Is it?
That was one of the web challenges I was working on.
Zane, do you wanna?
Go through mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Which one is this?
I don't remember.
Is this one or the?
Ugly rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugly rainbow is very fun.
Thank you.
It was there at good top.
I think the ugly rainbow.
Yeah, I hope it was.
Mine's.
They can be challenges.
That's it's recording on my. It's alright.
Oh, you might use the photo of us.
I think we can just do it. There, do you have a camera?
Yeah.
I'll do it. Okay, actually, I was trying to remember what it was. Oh, I was talking about someone else, another piece of characters, and like, nice school.
It's also very good.
It has like some characters.
Wait, this is the bottom.
Small F.
That's a lot of throws.
Okay. So,
Do you just want to put the
we wanted to do this. Guys, I'm gonna remove. I'm gonna through this amazing challenge I wrote. So the first thing to do is once you download the file, you see that's a .svg, and the worst mistake that people doing is to try to use like an image program and to try to do like more like advanced things on it. The first thing you know about SVG, you can, if you Google SVG, the first thing that comes up is that it is an XML image format, and XML means that rather than trying to look at pixel by pixel, you can see it as a series of XML vectors. So just do this. So you have that. Yeah, the way SVGs work is I just specify, here's a circle, here is its radius and its position, right? Cool. So I mean, obviously if you look at this, there's only so much place that I can encode a secret message, right? It can't be in the sizes because they're all the same. It could hypothetically be in the positions, because that's the only thing that changed, or it could be in the colors. Out of the two, you could have maybe guessed colors since I hinted at it, right? It's an ugly rainbow. The colors is where I sort of am going towards.
That didn't get recorded.
What didn't get recorded?
Don't worry.
We'll cut it out.
Okay. So what you do is you can just go ahead and grab out for the colors to see whether they form. Because I mean, if you have a series of hex values, you can encode shit in hex, right? So why don't we try and print it out and see what happens, right? So if you go ahead and do hashtag ABCDEF. Hashtag. Yeah. Everyone so far so good? So you're only grabbing for some. No. I'm just like extracting out. Oh, okay, yeah. And then, so now I get this like hex dump. Yeah. At this point, you can use Python or a website or whatever you want. There's also a command built into this. XXD, you can reverse a hex dump.
Wait, so what does XXD do?
It reverses a hex dump. It's a hex to ASCII converter essentially.
Oh really? Cool.
Yeah. In this case, that's how I'm using
What's
it.
R and P?
So R is reversed because XSD is by default, it takes a file and puts it as a hex, it's a hex dump file. But you can reverse it, so you go hex dump back to file. Yeah. and then the P is just printed out. Everyone following so far?
But what if you don't do P? We'll not print it out.
Yeah, basically. I think it just doesn't do anything.
It's useful.
Look at the man pages. What I think it prints it out as a
My
page.
knowledge of P is star is usually just a string, whereas if you leave P, if you don't have it in it, it gives you like the extra.
Oh yeah, the two patterns.
Oh yeah.
So where is the flag?
Yeah, so here's the thing though, is obviously you know that we have like a standard format, right? So you can go ahead and say grep, flag, and then nothing happens, right? So at this point you can give up and be like, damn it, this is too hard, Zane's a bit of a dickhead.
Oh, you reversed it, yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing is, but like before giving up, always try and just sort of try a couple of different things. It's not going to cost you any time, right? Like just go ahead and reverse flag.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Oh, that's in there, right?
Thanks, Satan.
No.
Right there.
Oh.
It's reversed.
Wow.
So if I just grab that and reverse it.
Yeah, nah.
Just sort it into reverse.
That's it? That's
Oh yeah, that's actually better, yeah.
Tag just prints lines in it.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure. I think
It's
tag
tap with a C. Tap with a C.
No, it's not.
Let me sort it.
Does anyone know how to like sort it?
What
Yeah.
about top reverse? Play with reverse.
Salt dash.
Just use an online thing.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, reverse it and you get the flag.
Use Python.
Use Python.
Use Perl.
Hold on, guys.
So when yellow, use
Hold on. Python C command print reversed. This is not gonna work.
you reverse import sys. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then you need to join that. So at the start. Like not join.
Yeah.
Just click the array and reverse the array.
No. Everything's done with the command line.
Do it in C.
Yeah, I think I've seen command line Python before.
Hey.
Oh, right. Oops.
Ta-da.
Oh,
No.
No.
Patience, guys. Patience.
Is it-
Oh, you're using
right?
Python 2. You're using Python 3.
Are you kidding?
My default is Python 2. Where is
Does that work?
Where is it? Oh, there.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Flag I encrypt with hex very secure.
Nice.
So really the biggest trick with this I found is if you know what SVG is and you can just sort of hex out the colors, the rest is pretty simple. So the reverse was to kind of make it a little bit more difficult then. I thought it was fine without the reverse. I think you made me reverse it.
Yeah, because it was too easy without.
So you blame him.
Oh, I didn't expect there to be like jump values because I thought he was doing just the flag.
Yeah.
I didn't think that you put jump values because it makes it a lot harder to find. It's just like.
That's right. But yeah, anyway, so that was a trick to that. While I'm here, does anyone want me to go through digestive biscuit time?
Yes.
Yes, no, because no one.
Just do it.
Just do it. Okay.
Do it like this.
Yeah.
So just go to the right. Left bottom.
Cooking with algorithms.
I just did it last night. It looks like this.
Yeah, it's something
kind of right up.
this then, yeah.
Oh, just use this now.
Okay, so. Oh, whoops.
Is that the flag?
Yeah, it's a flag.
Oh, yeah, this one.
So here's our beautiful chatbot. Two things. One, this is a little bit difficult because someone put in like a very long A, and if you don't scroll to the end, you can't see the date of the messages, which is
Yeah.
So I don't do that, please. I'm so sorry about that. I should have put a limit in it. Hold up, what fuckers. But anyway, so let's say I want to log in. I do like test 50 password 1 register, which registers me and logs me in. There you go, right? I can post whatever I want. Hello world, I like me.
The amount of people who try XSS on this is
A lot of people try it.
That's not work. Stop trying it.
They're all made.
The butts are good.
So yeah, you see that? So that's great, but that's not the point. And I guess you should have guessed that given it's called cookie time, it's probably something to do with your cookie, right?
Linux or Windows?
Yeah. Oh, so I actually want that. Cool, yeah. So if you go ahead and look at the cookie, there it is, right? So that's called, does anyone know what this is? It's called edit your cookie extension. If you don't want to do that, you can also use the console. And just go document dot cookie. Also print it out. Print it at the top as long as you can grab the cookie, right? It's a base.
edit cookie as well.
Yeah. So as long as you can grab it and do like a hex64, so like base 64. Yeah, but look, this is how I do it because I have a WordPress. You get this, right? So test50 was the username I registered with, right? And it doesn't have any sort of check that is, like I don't validate this cookie. I just say, hey, I'm test50, here's like a random string of numbers, and it validates me, yeah? So you can tell that it doesn't have like a cryptographic sign, mostly because it's just a comma delimited like tuple, right? So you can just change this to admin, right? And reverse it back, except it won't work, right? In which case, what happens is you need to find this number that was given to the admin. So if you know that the server gives you a number, right, what's the first thing you should try and do? No. It's a very big number, you can't brute force it.
Check if it's APOC time.
It's what?
APOC time.
Well, yeah. So before jumping to that, the basic idea is how is this generated? If it's generated predictably, maybe I can forge a cookie, yeah.
I think the challenge description gives you a big hint already. It says like, when are you?
Yeah, when are you?
Yeah, it's a big hint.
I actually thought this wasn't worth 125 points, frankly.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so obviously since it's something to do with time, we're giving you a hint, and also just maybe like that long number starting with 15 sort of immediately should like trigger your brain. So it is epoch time. Does anyone not know what epoch time is? Actually?
Oh, is that when you do it from 1970?
Yeah. Epoch is just the second count, or sometimes millisecond count since 1950. This is the second count, right? So you can reverse it by going to like epoch to time, right? I used sounds like epoch to time. Epoch whoops. Anyway, look, just it works, I promise. It is an epoch time. So if you do it a couple times, you'll notice that number changes, and it's basically just the time that the server gives you, right? It's the moment you logged in. Yeah. So what you need to do is figure out when did the admin last log in, because in the moment you know that, you can just put in you can forge a cookie, right? There's two ways to do this. 3 ways, sorry. You can either, whoops, where's the site? Oh yeah. You can either look at this admin message, and if it wasn't for the fucking A's, you would see at the end.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
Who did that? So I was trying to find like a buffer overflow.
It's Python, there is no buffer.
There it is.
060418, right? So since you have a day, you can just brute force every second in that day. It's actually not too bad, but since you're going to be brute forcing the website, it will take you a couple seconds to not seconds, it'll take you like some amount of time, some amount of time to brute force every second, because you have to forge a cookie, check whether it lets you in, forge another cookie over and over again, right? So really what you want to do is you want to limit your search space. I know that's, I think, did someone try this? You can also set your time to be like right now and keep subtracting seconds until you hit the admin's time. Also ineffective because you guys, because I set that flag I think weeks ago, so don't do that. That will also take too long. The trick is, this is a little bit of social engineering. Just logged in, the sunset in Sydney today is beautiful. Sunset happens at a predictable time that you can check. So you can actually just Google like, sunset in Sydney, and find the date that it was posted on, right? I think, is it time and date? One website actually lets you like scroll back. Yeah, that's one that. So if you go to like, when did I do it? Like April something? April 6th, yeah.
I think it's like 6:44.
Where does it say the date? Oh yeah. April 6th, sunset was at 5:44 p.m. Yep. You chuck that into your little site that converts a time and a date to an epoch time, and you chuck that in, and it doesn't work, right? Because you have a minute granularity. Yeah. You need to be able to find the exact second, but how many seconds are there in a minute?
fucking brute force it, my dude.
It's just 60.
It's just 60. I wrote a script to do it. Honest to God, you can just do it by hand. It's not that hard. You'll find it at 23 seconds, right? And then you chuck that cookie in, and you'll be logged in as admin. Because the only way it authenticates you is just check that your cookie's correct. Yeah. So you have a cookie. It says that you're admin, and the timestamp's correct, so you must be admin. So it lets you in, and the moment that you have admin, the flag appears here. Yeah. Any questions about that?
What's the password to that?
There is no. Well, actually, here's the thing. I specifically made the password easy to guess in case someone wanted to try that. It's password 12348.
Oh
Okay, so you can show the numbers.
That's really frustrating.
Yes. It's like I made sure that one.
I tried password 12345
It's 1 2 3 4 5 8. Just like fuck with you guys. But anyway, if you wanted to brute force it and you were dedicated enough, you theoretically could have done it. But this is the proper way. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Any other questions? All good. All good. You're not good.
No.
Oh, where's the?
Oh, actually, so what happens? I just want to check whether it rewrites me. If it rewrites me, please say it. Like, completely correct.
Do you want me to send you an invite?
Keyboard controls.
Three times he gets right now.
No, you can just try the cookie at all, it just rewrites you. But if it gets it rewrites you.
The reason you try is boring. It doesn't really.
Yeah, so what happens is for every second, I spend it, you force it, and yes, okay.
Zucced was fun. I had lots of fun making it. All right, you get this. Welcome to Archie. Hold on now. So like, everyone's all mad about Facebook leaking your data. I have made a website that will never leak your data. It's so secure. It's in fact a bit too secure. I can't log back into admin, which is kind of shit. So yeah, if you could help with that, that'd be awesome. You can make Usenet, you can make users. There was probably a way to break the registration form. Thankfully, not many of you tried too hard. So
Thank you.
awesome, thank you. Yeah, that was good. But if you register a user, you know, that all goes through, cool, you can, I think I had user password. Yeah, welcome test user. Yeah, so you log in, you get a random Zuckerberg meme. There are 30 of them, you can actually
Collect them all.
You can collect them all, because they're all just like linked in the static folder. So you can go through all, 30-ish of them. What I do. But yeah. So that's cool. You can register users. If you register a user and then try to reset the password, you'll notice that you get sent the same password, the same reset token, no matter how many times you reset it. And that is because the function that generates. Oh no. Where's the? Do you have the substitute pool?
Which one? I thought.
If not, that's fine. Because we can.
Or you can actually remove like the browser if you want to remove it instead.
That's cool. I'll just. So you can see here with the. I'm sorry, I wrote this last year for 2041. I just modified it for this.
Wait, this is a 204 assignment? Wait, you didn't try
Oh, it's the social media site. Yeah. So you can see here, forget password. The recovery address is just the username and then the username MD5'd. So like, not super secure. So if you just MD5'd admin and then went to and we get there. So if you went to something. That's oh well, let's do the is it running? not running here. Okay, well that's an issue. Good thing I changed the admin password a second ago.
Smile.
The admin password is currently hello. No.
No, we're still keeping up.
No, it should be working fine.
It's the same build as the one on that day, so.
Yeah. Okay. Going to use that additional work then.
Unless someone changed the password again. Maybe the time to change it. Well, it's possible.
It's not giving me anything weird. That's probably expected.
Lowercase?
Yeah.
No, because the generator one's uppercase.
Does it?
Yeah. The one that you just the letters.
Oh, okay, right. That would make sense.
Just like TR uploads.
Yep, or I could do this one. Which hey, look at that! I can choose a new password. I'm going to choose the very secure password of hello. And now if I log in,
You get this picture.
you get, yay!
Yep. So how do you figure out like the hash?
So, if you try and log in with the wrong credentials, it says wrong credentials supplied, please maybe try resetting your password. If you try to log in with admin, you get sort of pointed towards the password reset link. If you went there and made a couple of users yourself, or even just made one user and tried resetting over and over again, you would see that it was the same.
Google it. It says.
And if you use a common word for your username and then you Google it, it'll tell you that it's the MD5 hash. Some people, like when you do enough CTF or enough web stuff, you learn to recognize MD5 hash a little bit.
Right. Oh, and it's in the URL, so you know the hash is there.
Yeah, it's in the URL, so you know it's there. You can sometimes recognize MD5 hashes. I know some people know the MD5 hash for admin off by heart, just so they can recognize it. It's badly made crypto stuff. Like Cameron could probably pick it out from a crowd. Like yeah, it's not terribly hard, but recognizing MD5 hash is something they should be able to do. Or they should be able to figure out the MD5 hash if they're looking at it. MD5 itself isn't super breakable. When you're hashing something, it's like that takes no time. Yeah, and you get the flag, and if you refresh, you get a random Zucced. This one's my favorite. I'm glad it popped up now. No, it's just my favorite. Anyway, yeah, that's all.
Wait, is this actually what you did for your assignment? Your assignment was vulnerable.
Oh, no. I took my assignment from last year, pulled a whole lot of shit out, and then
That's atrocious. How could you possibly make a vulnerable assignment for a assignment where no one actually checks if it's vulnerable?
No, one of my extension things was like a secure password resetting. Everyone else was just like, oh yeah,
no one would have known if it's secure.
No, you have demos.
Yeah, so demo it, like that's 75.
And he asked that something come up and they break it into XSS.
Yeah, so I just sort of was like, here's how it's done. I basically completed like Subset 2, Subset 4 points as well.
I hashed my password based on like that's worth like something. Except that I actually ain't stupid though.
It should be something.
I had no such. I just actually was like something stupid, like basically
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions? I still get password in hands. I'm B. I like it was legit.
Yeah, he's up. And you can keep refreshing. You can just keep refreshing. Yeah. Like, it just gets better. There are just so many memes.
Yeah.
I handpicked all these memes. I feel like that's the greatest part
What
of this
the
video.
What?
Zach's handpicked memes. Zach's handpicked memes dojo.
Yeah. That was my greatest achievement. Wasn't the actual challenge. It was
the memes.
How did you spend creating these memes? Or like creating the challenge to find the
My
memes?
time was spent about 50-50 meme hunting.
So you know that episode of the Icy Crowd where she pulls out her computer?
That's
Yeah.
Me, Jen.
Yeah, Jen. And he's like, oh, if that was a human, I'd shoot in the face.
yes. So like
Response projected.
Yeah. Colin, you want to go next?
Sure.
Hello, you Colin.
Hello. Oh, I'm just saying hello. Sheila, you know that you earned this.
I don't want you next.
Yes.
You know what I want?
Wait, no one.
On the subject?
Actually, someone did one.
Okay, yeah, why would I want something to say one? Where is...
That's what I asked
Where is
her.
waste?
That's what my ex used to say.
Well, I was making money with cars.
Oh,
Remember live stream?
Okay, so the idea behind this one is it's basically shitty clone paste.
Wait, guys, shh.
Thank you.
I got you. You got your phone?
I got two.
Yeah, so the first thing you'll notice is you can type shit. Oh yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, so you can type shit here, and what it does is it just uploads it to the thing. Shit is the default name. You can tell I'm not very good at naming things. So what happens when we click insert comments? We get a link to our shit, for lack of a better word.
There were many better words.
Yeah, and you get to see your thing. So the first thing you should be thinking is sort of how can I get this to disclose juicy stuff? So one thing we can try is inject PHP. If I can remember my PHP system, blah blah blah.
If anyone in this room can write PHP like from scratch with no help, you're doing something incredibly wrong.
I would like to reverse that hash and stuff.
Oh, just a hash? Oh, you mean off the file name?
Yeah, no, that was random.
Yeah, I realized.
Did you end up getting this?
No, literally the only reason I had that was just to stop the fuck.
Stop the fuck.
Literally, you'll get it when you see the code. Literally the only reason why was to stop the file name from colliding with the same name, because everyone's going to be trying shit.txt.
What was the... Oh, yeah.
The file name right there.
Yeah, look, we were just...
Yeah, so see what happens. Shit. I'm just going to copy paste this. I'm going to need it later.
You've heard the term incel before, right? You've
Nah,
heard what an incel is before, right?
you your shit.
Involuntary incel.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll see that it hasn't actually done anything. It's just echoed up to the page.
What am I
And that's because it's still got the .txt file extension. And in fact, it's basically taking your file name and appending the .txt extension to the end. So what you want to do, one thing you can try to get rid of it is, I tried to make it fairly obvious that it will truncate the file name beyond 42 characters. So what you can do is, so the alphabet is 26 letters long. How many characters? So that's 36 characters, we'll put it in. And the last 4 characters, we'll make them .php. I think that should work. So what happens behind the scenes now is it's going to append .txt to the end, but the truncation actually happens after the appending of the file extension. So what happens is
You should do that the other way around, not this way.
yeah. It was intentionally shit.
Yeah.
Cool, make a better web app.
Fuck you.
Guys,
I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying.
Sort of
This is on camera, I'm gonna bring something cool.
View your shit here. Okay, let's see what happens. Oh, nothing appeared. So what's actually happening here is our web shell has been executed, but I haven't actually given it any parameters. So what I was doing before, this is the code that I have. This is basically saying, okay, I see a get request. Run this as a system command. And I'm naming it the parameter CMD. So I can pass this in as a get parameter. And I'll say command equals ls. Okay, there's nothing here. What happens?
Is that something code is
maybe I'll try ls dot slash. What the fuck is it doing?
Is it not like, is it encoding properly or?
I don't know.
Check this envelope.
just a 20.
You fucked up the code. Where's the write-offs? I'm gonna go back to the fucking write-offs. Okay.
Just go up. Or
Web.
WasteTin, yeah.
I was actually going to show you guys.
Yeah, gotcha.
No, it's not included in there. I left it out.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna copy paste this and hopefully it'll work. Yeah, okay, let's try this again. I swear that's almost exactly the same.
Isn't it the same?
Yeah, I know.
I think you missed like a subtle thing.
Yeah, no.
Bye. Remember, don't lose your way. Love yourself.
Thanks, Zane. That's what she said.
Oh, okay. Okay, there we go. I think this is a good sign. So we'll try this again. Command slash. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. So this is actually all the shit that we've tried. So at this point, what you can do is you need to look for the flag. You can probably guess that the name of the file is going to be something like flag.php or flag.txt. So what you can do is we'll use find. We'll start from root. And let's call it flag asterisk.
Why is there
Why are there so many D's? Okay, I think this should work.
Oh, that's one.
That one. Yes.
So shoot every file for the flag.
Oh no, wait.
Isn't it just slash flag?
Just star slash.
Other people also call their stuff.
Cat star. Wait, what was your suggestion?
Cat star slash star.
Cat star slash star.
Yeah, that works.
That's my like.
There's only
My
four.
If you use grep, you can.
I mean, you
dash
can do-
R is actually
Oh,
for every
but
file.
then it's going to be a functional output.
Yeah. Control F.
Okay, whatever.
Just
Wait,
put it-
let's do that.
Oh, control it works.
Yeah.
No, but I thought it was like with the directory equal.
Yeah, there'd be dot slash.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but star is only for the parameter.
Like a cat slash star slash star.
Yeah, slash star slash star.
Gotcha.
Holy
You
crap.
should be able to finish every CTF chapter.
Capital, like.
If you don't get anything else,
It's actually the binary expectation one. Like,
Yeah, just catch it. Yeah.
go.
No, it's not even
Stars.
just learn not to seek a binary.
Don't bother grab. Why are you trying to grab? Love yourself.
What?
Just cat it.
Into the camera.
Huh?
You're right to the camera.
I'm just going to cat the flag. You get the point. Okay. Flag. Yeah, okay. Web shell space. So this was sort of a. You could actually delete files on the system if you wanted to, but nobody did. So Thank you. For that.
Is it that?
Yeah, this is basically remote code execution. So you can literally.
I mean, it's just like a regular.
I thought you were gonna go.
I was like, I've already flashed
Yeah. Okay.
Can you do scrunch?
Scrunch? Yeah, sure. Okay.
Scrunch, guys.
So with Scrunch, this was a bit of a sneaky one. I didn't expect anyone to get it before they'd seen the hints. Has anyone heard of Burroughs Wheeler transform before this challenge? I take that as a no. Okay. Yeah, so I was considering making this challenge more points, but I thought that maybe the hint would make it somewhat obvious what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I think people still have trouble because this is a pain in the ass to do by hand, and the tools that people found to do it online sometimes didn't do the job. So I'll show you one that does. Scroll.
Oh, and somebody's a good way on this one.
Are you leaving?
Yeah, so this is the ciphertext.
Hold on,
For
hold on.
lack of a better word.
Get in. You look so mad.
Sorry.
Could you smile at my photo?
So
I'll smile.
Too late.
there's a good decoder.
I know there was a smiley on your face.
No, I'm gonna say this.
What do you want to do now?
Wait, no, I'm not in the.
Oh. Hold on.
Wait, I didn't get it.
5 minutes.
Wait. What?
I'll speak in French.
Je m'appelle.
Cannot speak
Snapchat?
sausage language.
Oh, he's still there.
Wait, what's your Snapchat?
Okay.
Again, I don't.
Yeah.
I only say I promise I won't say this.
Oh, there's a mouse.
I promise I won't say this.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but that's a promise.
Now what's the point?
Only if you ask, I will.
Smooth.
I got
Except you have to add.
barely enough sleep, I think.
Why sleep when you can sleep?
Oh yeah, okay. I'll zoom in. So the flag is hoops of strong my orange juice. Yeah. I should probably explain what's going on.
Somebody likes the real memes.
10 out of 10.
Which is
So I should probably explain a bit. So
Also, please don't.
basically what Burroughs Wheeler transform does is, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty, but basically it rearranges the characters in such a way that makes it easy to do run length encoding. So that's basically when you look at a string of consecutive characters like A, and you compress it by saying, okay, there are 5 A's, and that saves you space. It's one of the steps using bzip. Yeah, so that's basically what it does. It's just rearranging the letters.
Wait, what? So it's not a crypto thing. It's more like an.
It's not even crypto. That's why I felt iffy about calling it crypto.
Sorry.
Yeah. And what the dollar sign is, it's basically telling you where the end of the string is. It's basically in the end of the string marker, because you need this to be able to do the decoding. If you didn't have this, you'd have to brute force basically all the positions in the ciphertext. And I have actually seen a CTF challenge where you had to do that, but I put the marker in here to make it easier, because I think it's tough enough as it is. If you ever do bin 3020, you will be asked to do this by hand under exam conditions. Like, I could try to do an example on the board right now if people wanted to see that, but I'll probably fuck it up. I don't know. What do you guys want?
Let's leave it for a future date.
Okay, sure. Okay. And I'm going to skip best cipher because I don't think anyone in this room knows how to do that.
I don't know how to do it. Can you go through it?
I don't know how to do it.
No, it's alright. Yeah, just give it to the.
Okay. What do you guys want to do next?
Should we get reversing ones?
Well, like, anything that you can.
Challenge though.
As long as it exists.
Which ones are left?
Personal.
So we've already done. We've already done. We've gone through. Well, all the planetary concepts. Plus and minuses. Oh, I should. Okay.
I'm not.
Sean, Jess, can I help you do the reversing?
Yeah, I saw the email.
You don't know anything.
Sorry?
You don't know anything.
Which reversing one is that? Sean.
Jeff screwed some shit on there.
Yeah.
Jeff said,
How are you?
No.
Anchor's code?
No.
Fuck.
Lol.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just.
What?
I kind of believe
Alright.
just give me, is there any other challenges?
Whropper.
Yeah.
I'll go through mine first because it's a name.
Okay.
You need anchor. Right,
You don't need to solve it, I'll just show you how like people will get away. So I wrote the evil challenge, which was madorbad. Because it's a lot of fun.
Is that the one that uses anger?
So technically you should use anger for this, but there is a way to do it without anger, and it's like really lazy. So the way this works is you have this program. Did I give you guys source? I don't think I did.
No.
Alright, so if you reverse the program, it'll look really terrible, but the idea is it looks something like this. Did you guys manage to get to this point where you sort of figure out what it's doing? The idea is that there's a whole bunch of sequential functions that XOR each other, and this was simplified down into indexing to words, and then calling one of these, which verifies that your character is correct. In simplest form, what this means is it's checking each character against like whether it's correct or not. The idea was, one, you could either try and reverse this by hand and go through every single function. The other solution is you stick it through anger and say this is your start point. Your entry point is here.
The script, there should be a script for it. I did write one.
Yeah, so what it'll do is it'll pick the entry point as the correct point in the binary, and it'll pick the end, which is like here, and it'll just figure it out for you. The other way, if you notice, whether these are a sequence of lowercase and uppercase O's, which may or may not correspond to binary digits. So this will correspond to either 10010, which is the ASCII equivalent for a character. So if you were bothered, you could go through and reverse each one of these and convert it to its binary character equivalent, and then substitute it here and just figure out the order. So if you like, the way the script looks like is something like this. All it does is it generates a function, it generates some checks, and it generates the end. And the function goes about, and where is it? Generate main check. It generates a function name, and the function name is determined by, actually, where is it? Generate function. I think it's this one. Yeah. So the function name is determined by that number, or that letter converted to your ASCII value, and then you replace the zeros with lowercase and the ones with uppercase. So if you didn't want to use anger to solve it, you could have just reversed each function name and it would have given you the answer. But yeah, the idea was you can either use anger or you can reverse it by hand. The other ones are Jess's, so I'll ask her. Exactly. We need to explain it right.
Sorry, I'll buy you some time.
Fine. I don't know how I can't connect to that either.
This is last week.
Have you got?
Last week.
Sorry.
2 hours. Oh, free time.
You're doing a great one already.
Yeah, then the
When?
The solution that lies there.
Yep.
What's two?
But I still don't have everywhere.
Yes, it's close.
The rap server.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Collecting some old days.
Oh shit, yeah, you're gonna follow them.
So I think this is roughly what you were given, just without the flag. And it was just meant to be a pain in the ass math problem so that you couldn't solve it by hand. So the idea is when you and I can click. Okay. So you can see it's expensive in half fee. What have I done here? Oh yeah, so I read in. Oh no, I changed it from half fee. Yeah. So this one was set up with NetCat, the first one was ugly, but I changed it. So you have two folders, pass one and pass two. You read them in for the size, so there's no overflow there, unfortunately. Just in case, for some reason, like, it'll just replace the new line with the null, so that you can have, so that that's not part of the equation and it doesn't mess up any of the numbers. And then those two are just passed in here into my super secret password checker, where it just converts that to an unsigned long and in base 10. So this is for pass 1, and then to multiply that, the result of these two will be ANDed with the unsigned long base 10 again of this, or with these two things, and then you have to equal this. Now, these two were actually a hint because the intended solution was to use what's called a symbolic, an SMT solver called Z3, which will basically do fancy math for you. So what you could have done is, it's here, isn't it? There. The solution. So yeah, so this is the solver script for Z3, and I'll go through it with you guys so you understand. Actually, can I? It is haha. Like content. All right, so we'll do this. Where's your control there? So I'll be working over here. So what we do is we take A, which is going to be our pass 1 over here, so this value, and we'll turn that into a, so we know it's a 64-bit system, so we can turn it into a bit vector of 64 bits, and we'll just label it A, so that's all this is doing. This is C3 stuff. B will be our second number, which is this one here. C, which is our pass 2, essentially the same kind of thing, so we know it's a 64-bit big vector, we'll do that again. And the other hex value here, cafe A. And then what we do is we break it into two parts. So because you can see here, if I go, it's essentially this. So these are the three stages. So all I've done in the script is done that. So I've broken it up into the A times B, which is this part, and then the rest of the equation as here, and I check that it is the first half ANDed with the second half is going to equal to D. So this line here is just creating the SMT solver object so that it can then process what you give it, which is the equation you give it with the add. You check that it's a valid solution, which is where the SMT solver will actually go through and go, okay, so I need this number and then this number and then that's it. And then this is just some fancy stuff to pull out essentially these labels, what it computes the value to. And then it prints it out for sanity. And then this is just phone tools connecting to the binary and entering those two values in to prove that it works. I have the script there. Actually, I would install Z3, but it takes too long. If anyone wants to see, I've got the script that's run over here.
Yeah. Any questions, or we can move on to the next one?
It was an unusual one, but SMT solvers are quite powerful. Like, it's a mixture of, Sean mentioned anger, didn't he? Anger, yeah. Yeah, so the stuff that this uses is what sits underneath anger, which is what Sean's challenge uses. So that one will essentially turn binary into math, and then use this to do the math and work it all out, and then go back to binary and go, okay, this is what you do. If that makes any weird sense.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about this challenge is like, the first problem seems very familiar to IO64 level 2.
Yes. It's more complicated than IO64 level 2, but I did it that way so you couldn't do it by hand. But yeah, if you do want to learn about this stuff, Google Z3, I think that might be a Microsoft thing. Z3 is Microsoft, isn't it?
Yeah, it was made by Microsoft Research. It's something,
Yeah.
and then they made it public actually quite recently.
That's cool. Yeah. So have Google for Z3, and then throw it in the script or whatever. I don't know if we've released the source or anything.
I think we released the writers now.
Otherwise, go to netgarage64 level 2.
Send you tonight.
Okay.
I think some of them are stupid.
Sorry if I didn't explain it very well. But yeah, Google Z3. It's good.
Yeah.
Makes math fun.
I will step in for demo and do the meshnet walkthrough. Meshnet. Yeah. It's quite interesting. Hold on, let me collect my thoughts. I did it last night. Yeah. Still fairly in my head. Okay, yeah, so meshnet, my server seems to have gone off the grid. Can you help me get back in? And then they give you this IPv6 address and a port number. And if you try to netcat this, it most likely will not work. So, actually, yeah, so it doesn't resolve to anything for now because meshnet is sort of like it's like a secure network. Hold on, let me pull up the description. While I'm at it, so when David designed this challenge, he basically put meshnet in the title to get you to Google it. So if you Google meshnet, you will see that it's actually a thing. It refers to this thing called CJDNS, which is it's like a sort of project where you have a decentralized peer-to-peer network, and it's sort of encrypted with public key cryptography. And so you can have like these local nodes overlaid over the internet, and the peers talk to each other, but not to the rest of the internet. So what David basically did was he made his node and he put his flag on there so that you have to connect to his address by joining a public node and then netcatting that port that he set up. If you don't join the network and you try it, it won't work. So I guess this challenge is not really much about problem solving, but more about doing research and learning what a meshnet is, how to connect to a node, and yeah, how to like fetch information. So there's two ways to join a node. Just give me a sec, I'll bring it up. Where is it? So Hyperborea is one of the largest. It's like you have multiple meshnets, and Hyperborea is one of the biggest ones. It's one of the most nodes that you can connect to, and they have documentations that teach you how to connect to it. Set up. So the one we want to find is So I'm not gonna cover how to set it up because you can find it on their GitHub. You just need to clone their repo and run some commands, and they'll set it up for you. One of the things I noticed is that when you run CJDNS, you have to use sudo to run it. So you have to be really careful because it can, if you don't configure it properly, it can probably make some changes that you don't want it to do. But yeah, don't worry about that part for this challenge because we're not doing anything like that. Just give me a sec. So, peers. So one of the first problems you have to do with this challenge is to find a node to connect to. And you can just do it by trial and error, but the one that David says works is this one, which is TRX Tokyo node. And if you go here, their credentials are in this file. So it has their IPv4, the port, contact, login, password, peer name, and public key. You don't really have to know too much about that stuff, just that it goes into the config file. And basically, when you run it, it reads the config file and it tries to connect to that node. So I've already added it and added the IP here. So when I run it, it will try and connect to it, and then once it's connected, you can yeah, so basically how you run it is that you pass in your config file when you run it, and once it's up, it will start in the background. And so now you're already connected into that network. And if you go back to that earlier netcat command, 1803, there it is, there's the flag. Sorry, zoom in a bit more. Yeah. The reason because it's stored in the local, it's stored on the network of the meshnet itself. It's not actually on the internet, so you need to connect to the meshnet to get the flag. If you try to connect via the internet, it won't work. Yeah. Does that clear up some things? I don't know too much about it myself because I was still researching it yesterday. Yeah. What else? Crypto. I'll go over Wayland's challenge as well, which is pluses and minuses. So this one is interesting because the flag is actually encrypted. Well, it's not really encrypted, but it's written in the Breadcrumbs language. Yeah, it's pretty cool. If you open the challenge.txt, what you see is just all these pluses and minuses and dots. So you just need to Google it, like language, pluses, minuses. Pretty sure it'll say it's, maybe not. I think if you esoteric programming languages, you will find it down here. Yeah, so it says here, it's like that. It's very fun. Then you just need to find an online converter and convert it back into the flag. So just get the flag, which is, where is it? Challenge.txt. And paste it in and execute. And it's over here. Yeah. I mean, you could write code to do it yourself, but you can just decode it online.
I had to do it myself, but I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you should look for tools that can do it for you first, and if there are none, then yeah, you have to code them out yourself. Did you actually like learn
No, I
how
just
to read it?
I don't know. I just figure out like it's just plus and minus the number by myself and just get the flag.
Also, you didn't know that it was an actual
anything.
programming language.
Yeah, no, just break it down. Just
That's cool.
I didn't know there was a thing.
Yeah.
I don't use a back of the code breakup, but I just check it with here and I see the square brackets. I think okay, maybe not. So I just
yeah, this one I guess it requires a bit of like prerequisite, not really prerequisite, but like general knowledge to recognize that it's
someone talk about this.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in esoteric languages, you should also look at what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger one called?
That's what?
This is not.
Arnold C, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing.
Is it Shakespeare?
Yeah.
I like the Arnold Schwarzenegger one because like instead of exit success, you have to say like get to the chopper,
Yeah.
and I think that's fucking hilarious.
Is it this one?
Arnold C, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Can we have a challenge on this next time?
What's the challenge?
I don't know.
The challenge is to get to the chopper.
Reverse it.
Really compatible, right? Yeah.
Or you write your word.
Okay, let's see what else is left. We've done this, WasteTin, Zucced, that one. The only ones left are mine and whropper, so I think I'll go through whropper first. Yeah. So. So you're given the whropper file. If you try and strings it, you probably won't find anything, so you don't have to. But you can, there's two ways. So whropper is basically a buffer overflow where you need to override the return address with a function pointer. And if you go to that function, you will get a shell. And usually there's two ways to find that function. One way is to use nm. And you will see that there's main, which is the main function. There's an order function which takes your order. Let me run it. So this part where it takes your input, that's where order runs. And once order runs, it just exits. Yeah. So if you use nm, you can discover that there is another third function which is deep fat fryer. Sorry? Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. So that deep fat fryer is up there. Another way you can find it is to, if you have a disassembler or GDB or anything similar, just run it in there. And if you desass, actually no, you can just go info functions. And it will show you as well that there's deep fat fryer. And if you desass deep fat fryer, you can see that it makes a system call. And it loads something from this address 400858. And usually you won't be able to read there, so if I try to read that, I don't think it works. Oops. Yeah, but since I'm using PIDA, I can look for certain strings like in sh. Nope. Oh, that's weird. And look, there's bin sh near this address. And I'll show you that again. So you can sort of like determine that bin sh is being loaded into the register and there's a system call. So that's when you know it's popping a shell for you. So this is where the function prolog starts, right? 400656. And if you go to order, what it usually does is it just takes input, puts it in the buffer, and then returns. And what you want to do is to actually override the return address here to jump to deep fat fryer. And so this one, run from beginning. I'll just set a breakpoint here. And we run probably with some input. I think one of the things that Kieran said about this challenge that might be tricky is that your payload must have 10 in front. Because if you don't have the 10, it rejects every other order that you put in. So if I try and run, so if I go 1, it says run out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it doesn't accept any of the 9 inputs that you give it, but on the 10th one it will say excellent order. So that's where you know that it's actually accepting your input. So from there you can just start messing around with it. So like run 10, and this is where continue, next run 10, and just give it a sec. If you see on the stack, here is OX 30 and 31. ASCII value for 1 is 31 and ASCII value of 0 is 30. So we can see that it's stored here in the stack in little endian format. So like little endian means like the bytes are stored in reverse. So like 10 is actually stored as 0, 1, sort of in that way. So basically when you want to override return addresses, your payload should be in little endian format, which is back to front. And I'll come back around and say why that's important and why it stops your normal payloads from working. So just give me a minute. So this one, if I put in some A's, it will seem clearer, but for now, here is currently where your user input starts. You can see the 10 is here. If I run with 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 A's, go to the next breakpoint. And examine the stack again. So these are the A's. So there's like 30, 31, OX 41, 41, 41, 41, 41, 41, 41. And in the buffer, after you put in 10 and 8 A's, the next bytes you put in will start overriding the return address. So if you corrupt it, it will sec fault and you won't be able to continue the program execution. And this is where the program return address is stored, because you can see here it's 07 FFFF7A2D800. And I think it's actually one of the return addresses. Hold on, let me check. Pretty sure it is. Where is it? 58.
What are you looking for?
Sorry?
What are you looking for?
Because I found the return address yesterday, I can't find it now.
Oh.
It should be something matching this value that I'm highlighting up here.
Oh, okay.
I noticed that this one is actually down here.
Hmm.
So I think maybe I'm not putting enough A's in there. It should maybe overflow all the way here, but that's not why I
Oh,
remember.
okay.
Yeah.
Which channel?
Whropper.
Oh, fuck that.
So like, okay.
You ever had a run?
Yeah, I do. So this one, OX07 FFFF FFF DC58. Oh no, but that's DC58. That's not DB58. Anyways, I'll just get to the point. Basically, this address is different than most other buffer overflow challenges because it's 64-bit. So your address can be as large as 8 bytes. In this case, it only uses up 6 bytes, so you have 4 null bytes in there. Remember previously we wanted to jump to the frat fryer. This one is actually, if you look at it in an 8-byte, 64-bit context, it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. You have to put in like these 1, 2, 3 regular bytes and all these null bytes. So I think that's 3 plus 5. Yeah, 5 null bytes plus 3 of the address.
Quick maths.
Quick maths.
4+2 is 1.
So let me find my payload from beforehand. Okay. Just a heads up, none of these will work. Not for the reason you're thinking. Because if you go to the source code, it's using gets. And one of the things about gets is that it stops reading at the first null byte. So what it basically is you pass in any of these payloads, it will read, Python will print 10 A, and whatever character this is, whatever this is, and it stops here. It doesn't take in any of the other null bytes that you put in. So unfortunately, that's not good because. Sorry. Whropper. Break. I think this is the one we're supposed to override. Yeah, so maybe I should use the board. Do we have markers?
Yeah, on the cupboard.
They're on the table actually.
Okay.
Next to the remotes.
You touch the cover, the thing will fall.
Yeah. Can you guys see like between here? Okay. So this is a 64-bit return address, which is OX. Just copy this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 F. DC58. Okay. So this is the one that they have right now, and it jumps back to main. What we want to give it is actually 500, 656. 500, 656. So this is the address that we want to give it, because this jumps to the shell. Right? But remember when I said that little endian, our payload has to be put in little endian, so if you no. So our payload is like that. We're putting it in from the end, like this, 5, 6, 0, 6, 40. So it slowly overrides this bit, this byte, and this byte. But then because of gets, it gets cut short, it doesn't copy this byte over. So the address you end up making is just 7FFFFF400656, which it can't access, so that's why it's SecFox. So you can't, it's SecFox, it breaks. That's one of the downfalls of doing it by hand, so sorry if you tried and couldn't get it. I did not know about this issue until yesterday. But for some reason, if you use pawn tools, which is one of the hints, yeah, you can take this address, right, 40656, and I'm assuming that P64 means like...
It puts it a little endian bytes at the back.
And so it puts it in little endian 64 byte, 64 bit, and then it adds it to your payload, which is 10 and make A's, and it passes it in and it waits for an interactive session and listens. So for some reason it doesn't break over pawn tools. I don't know why. If you know, please tell me.
You only need to overwrite the first 3 bytes. Like the first byte. You don't have to overwrite the entire 0000 because that's already zeros.
Really?
Yeah.
But I thought
the return address is already pointing to 000040.
Okay.
So you only have to overwrite that like last byte. And since it's a little endian, that last byte is actually the first byte.
Right.
So that's why yeah.
But
wait, hold on.
Why doesn't the usual payload work like by hand?
Which one did you use?
The hold on. Like the ones like this, where they have null bytes at the end.
I'm not sure, you shouldn't need to send null bytes at all.
Yeah, anyways. Yeah, it's alright.
Wait, so we're trying to overwrite the 7FF blah blah blah. We're trying to overwrite that with the 400656, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, but because of that, the null bytes are all at the end, because it's little at the end.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you're lazy, run his exploits and you can get it. Once you get in, just give me a sec. Yes, ls, cat flag. Oops. And there it is.
Yay.
Yeah.
Just a quick aside, one thing that I didn't realize when I started reversing 64-bit binaries was you might expect the addresses to use the full 8 bytes, but that's not actually the case. It only uses 6 bytes, which is why these addresses are 48 bits long.
Never actually uses the whole thing, it's always like that. Okay, should I just go over the last of my challenges?
Oh, you saw? Okay, yeah, sure.
I haven't, yeah, it's like, but I think most people know how to solve the Recon ones already, so I'll do it very quickly. SSH Recon CTF at recon0.ctf.com. Recon 0, and basically you get a shell. You're told that there's a flag in here. Where is it? How do you find it? You don't recursive grab the root directory because it's not going to get you anything. And the hint says it's not in a file somewhere. So one thing you should try is n. And if you type n, oh, what's this? There are many parts. Interesting. Oh, curly braces.
Maybe trim off. Maybe use set to trim off the part.
Oh yeah, true.
The part at the start might be fucking it up.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's the flag. I can trim off the Oops. I think that's close in test. Oh shit.
You might need to escape the plus with a backslash because it's bash.
Is S a command? Is S a command?
Oh, yeah,
right,
true.
true. I forgot. Thanks.
Lol.
Wait, what?
You're missing a backslash
Just put it into an
at the
online
start.
reading. Just do it by hand.
There should be a.
You can read it actually.
Oh, there should be a
For all
forward slash after the S. The S apostrophe.
Which one?
Oh, the
You
S.
should be able to mention it.
There should be a forward slash.
Ah. No, that is
It should be a global at the top.
Escape.
You need a backslash G at the end.
Escape the plus. Escape.
No backslash G.
Actually, you know what? You could just do dollar. Sorry, you can do asterisk and then equals sign. I think.
Because the last ones had two numbers.
Sorry, my regex isn't very good. You can tell.
Mine neither. What if you just got rid of everything that's not an alphanumeric character?
That wasn't a real game, that was like so boring. We'll play this one on.
Just give me a second.
Follow my channel.
Okay.
Hey.
And then tr-d.
If somebody to know,
Thanks.
Randomly match me.
Oh, what the fuck? I didn't know you could do that.
Yay, flag JavaScript though.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
Yeah, so one pipeline to rule them all.
That's cool.
Yeah, so tr-d space does that.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah. Next one is what? GTFO. That one's quite fun.
I can't send you anywhere.
CTF.com.
No, change my
And his password is please.
password.
And if you try and log in, it will say, nope, get the beep out. Yes. There are many ways to do this. I think what Mark did was he used SCP to copy it over, which is pretty cool. Another guy did. I didn't even know this was possible, but it's pretty cool. You SSH and then you. While it's loading, you can interrupt the bashrc file. That's weird. Nah, it doesn't work here. Anyways, intended solution is basically you can put your command here and it executes it without spawning a shell. So you can bypass it and just go cat flag. I think it works. Please. No, doesn't work. Maybe someone deleted the flag. It's possible. Maybe it's in /flag. Yeah. It's not there. I think someone may have deleted it, I'm not sure.
Rip.
Yeah.
Who would have done that?
But yeah,
Can you
once you
make
get
a
in, you
flag?
can just look around and get the flag, basically. Nothing else to it. Yeah, it's not there anymore. GG, whoever deleted it. I think the last one is guess my number, but you don't really need a walkthrough for that. You just brute force.
Oh yeah, did we ever go through Collab?
Oh yeah, Collab.
That is brilliant.
Yes. So, I'll show the first part of Collab. So what you do is you go here, and your first instinct is to view page source. And then you see, oh, there's a nav bar here that's been commented out. I wonder what that is. Oh, look, /flag. Let me try /flag. Oh, just a sec. And it will redirect you to a quick flow. But I've disabled YouTube for now, so it's not loading. Just give me a sec. But the rest of the source file is still, you can still do searching in other places. So this link here, static CSS index.css, that's where the flag is. So if you click in there, the flag is here.
Wow. Someone actually showed me a neat way of solving this one. A few days ago.
Yes, please show.
It makes this really easy, and you don't even have to know what exactly it is.
Is it like spike
Not even. It's like, so there's something. This is Chrome, right? No.
I have Chrome though.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can still do it in this one.
Inspect.
Oh, okay. I'll take that back. I need Chrome. No, it works. Definitely a little bit manually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pre-portals.
What's that?
I seen got the root of agency.
Yeah.
Also, I look at that because I went to get the other flag from the Sue's website, right?
Yeah.
Their website's a local to the house. Oh, really?
That's their whole, like, IT though. They're the equivalent of CSE.
Yeah, but our CSE side is shit.
True.
I haven't looked at that recently.
It's shit.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I mean, that's what you, right?
Yeah, aren't you CC side?
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
To do.
Who's your art delegate again?
Ash tagged the Ash and Mona Adam.
Wait, that's nothing to do with.
Are we meeting Ash today?
Okie dokie.
Huh?
Yeah, ours needs to be fixed. Particularly
Are we
the
meeting
image.
Ash today?
Suspect. What you can do is control shift that brings up this thing at the bottom. You can search flag and
Oh my god. Takes like
what? 5 seconds.
So it scans through all the files.
Yes. Yeah. I did not know you could do this.
That's pretty cool. They should write up that. Who was it?
Succed. It was agency.
Oh, nice. Last year, I think. No, Zucced is in January.
Okay,
I see
I don't know.
I see it was.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't know what Succed
It's January.
Yeah.
And they fell for a big girl last time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm on 80%. My battery's about to die. So I did. Yes. 80.
Well, I feel bad because like
18.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, yes. There is a red herring in this.
Where'd you get water?
If you go to flag.txt, I'm saying nice try, but you should be looking for an XML file. And then if you go to flag.xml, it's like no, it's too easy. But if you go to lol.xml, you will get a red herring flag here. Okay.
Have you talked about like usable security /flag?
Yeah, I talked about it earlier.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry to whoever found this and tried
Wow.
to spin it because it's not actually the flag.
Wait, why? Why do we have red herring flag?
It was originally meant to be the Google Docs one, but we didn't.
Right.
And we didn't expect people to find it because it's such a weird place to put it, and people still found it.
How though?
I don't know.
Magic.
Yeah, magic. Or maybe spider.
Go about that.
Yeah.
I'm scared of spiders.
Who puts lol in their word list?
Me?
Everyone
And you
should.
want to just take a website.
True.
I literally googled the list of curse words and put them all into my word list.
Why?
That's a great
That's like
idea.
very inappropriate, you know.
But
And you're an appropriate man, aren't you?
but normally.
I will show the source for guess my number. That's before it dies. It's like, you guys will get pissed.
Do you have your charger?
I have, but
You should plug it in now. Do you want me to bring it back to you?
Nah, it's alright. It will last another 10 minutes, which
Okay.
is enough. It ends in 7 minutes, anyways.
Okay.
It's like,
For rent.
it's like 50 seconds.
Yes. Guess. Cat. Flag. That's the flag, and this is the script that's sitting behind that nightcap. So it checks for 637928 and it rejects everything else.
Huh.
Yeah. So if you netcat binary dot hashbang CTF.com or 777.
That says hashbag.
Hashbag.
I love it.
Hashbag. No, that's a different one. 8081. And then you go 1, 2, 3. Nope. 4, 5, 6. Nope. This one. Yeah, there you go. Got it. Cool. I guess that's all the challenges then.
Wait, so is that brute forcing ports?
Yeah. So if you go to, let me just check. It's out of my history already, but you can just write a simple bash script to like brute force it. So like for I and dollar seek 1,000 or 10,000, do echo dollar I to that. And done. What? Oh, netcat, yeah.
Oh.
Lol. Rip.
Just hold Control C, mate.
Oh no.
I'll let you try for the people.
I'm not doing that again. Alright, cool. I guess that's the end of the walkthrough.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Any questions?
I don't think there will be any questions.
Okay. Alright, guess that's a wrap.
Yep.